Sanibonani ekhaya igama lami MK. Welcome to another episode of Leadership Insight. Namhlanje ngiphethe isikhulu, ngiphethe uchairman weThokoza Local Football Association. Kunjani se?
Hey, I'm good MK, and you?
I'm okay.
And then ngibingelele nabalandeli bakho.
Yeah. Whoever that's watching from ekhaya, akayazi ukuba ngaba sokhuluma nabani namhlanje. So bengicela usinikeze some briefing yana background ngawe ukuthi ubani, ubuya kuphi, and how you came about to being this person that you are today.
Okay, thanks MK. Igama lami Sifiso, Chonco. Born and bred la Thokoza.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm born and bred.
Right, so
Yeah, extension 2. My primary school days in Ngubela Primary School.
Oh.
Yeah, born
Okay.
and bred ngwala. Currently assist as a chairperson at Thokoza Local Football Association. Yeah, sipusha nje ispan. Pushikas, yeah.
Yeah, it's all about Hispanic.
Yeah, pushikas, yeah.
So what actually inspired you to take on kuyo le role le local football development?
Yeah, angazi ngicalebe, but it's a long story.
Okay.
But this is a
Discard.
focus. Yeah. No, this is a focus what inspired. I think for me, njoba ngisho ukuthi I'm a born and bred LA Thokoza. The most popular sports or anything that you will do as a child, more like Thokoza, it's soccer. From age of 8, maphuma estradeni, so intanga zakho sesidlala ibhola, so
Yeah.
ngasho ukuthi ngikhuliswa ibhola. And at some point I wanted to give back to ibhola. So while giving back, indawo mawuloku usondela kuyo ugcina so uba in. So I got involved too much. Sibene team, I got involved too much, whereby I'm a decision maker with team. They called into meetings, and then maskula uma meetings, I ended up being voted for. But before about chairman, angivuka ngikuseni about chairman.
Okay.
Yeah, ngohambile lama. I was an executive member in a portfolio. I then became a treasurer, and then I become a chairperson.
Okay.
So my inspiration iphuma from ukuthi ngikhuliswa ibhola, ngikhulele ebholweni, and I wanted to bona iThokoza yenza better.
Okay.
And then going away, siyodlala somewhere, as I said, we had a team. Siyodlala away, you would see opportunities from for abanye abantwana bakwezinye indawo, but then for iThokoza they were very limited. And sithe masibheka ngathi it's not something engasihlula singabantu bala iThokoza. If we structure it correctly, nathi sizofika la siyakhona.
Okay.
Yeah, take those baby steps, and then for me it was more of a hobby, a passion. Ukuba sebholweni up until isibeka la sikhona. Yeah.
Okay. Ekhuleni there were ezinye sports such as rugby, such as your baseball, softball, but then you chose soccer. Was it because ekas lakho bekudominator soccer then, or vele bewuthanda ibhola?
I would say bengumntana active.
Okay.
Yeah, very active. From primary school level, I remember ngidlalile what do you call this, volleyball.
Okay.
But bekungasinto serious, beyisa introduce, and then my height and everything, I wasn't gonna make it. I was very good in athletics by then.
Okay.
Yeah, I was very good in athletics. However, Ebola was the most popular sport. And I think what drove me, that very same team, Benidlalele Gas, Amazayon,
Okay.
and Mountain Rovers, this very same squad, Beslala Lapaya. It was the very same squad as Lalangaseskolwen. If you remember, Al Ahly in Egypt, currently now in South Africa and Sundowns.
Okay.
you go eskolweni, you go nidlala nonke ekasi, manifika eskolweni, teacher or the coach for the school akasakhuluma into eziningi sekathi niyazana dlalani nonke. So
Okay.
that's how I got used to isoccer and then ngayithanda.
Wayithanda
And
kanjani?
yeah, uzongibuza hayi bengekho mnandi kangako.
Bezoya kumagoli vele
Yeah,
kujikse.
bengekho mnandi kangako but I was a hard worker. Bekunzima ukuthi ngibeke ebhenjini.
Okay.
Khona ama-player amnandi esiwaziyo lithatha lipeshe ini. Mina ngile ye-workaholic. Mabathi maku-MK. Ngiyazi ukuthi makangakho MK next week ngihlala ebhenjini.
So you have to make sure
Yeah.
MK ukuthi
So that's why
akadluli
bekunzima
la.
ukuthi ngihlale ebhenjini because I was a workaholic but bengekho mnandi kangaka. I go to love i-disc
Okay.
because ngidlalile isikhathi eside yeah. More than 10 years.
So how would you describe the current state of football up at Thokoza?
That's a very good question. To be quite fair, I hear people talk a lot. Yeah, Thokoza is doing well. Yes, we are good. Some will say Thokoza, one of the best LFAs currently. For me, we're not there yet.
Okay.
I would say, to answer your question, the state said Thokoza, we're still 25% out of 100.
Okay.
Yeah, we're very far. And I can justify that. Mangithi 25%, I would say, ibhola lethu like us is really stable. Stable. There's a football calendar Thokoza manje. Everyone knows ukuthi ibhola ladlala eThokoza. Easter kudlala into so, June 16 kudlala into so, Heritage kudlala into so. So we've managed to stabilize ibhola laseThokoza, so it's stable. But in terms of state salo, we're still very, very far. To say that at least, just mangithatha lento le. If you look at ezinye indawo, you would see ukuthi kunama-players sewaku-professional level. That's what we want. Yes, eThokoza now a couple of good players. Abo Philip, it's one of them. Patrick, the under-20 captain, Machita.
Okay.
Yeah, he comes from the system, SCPs ngayo. And there's quite a lot. We had about 16 players academy. Academy, Kaizer Chiefs, Pirates. And then why I say 25% is that Ebola is not all about producing players. There's quite a lot. There's that we focus on, and in technology, which is a city right. There's player side, there's coaching side, there's refereeing side, there's administration side, there's women's football.
Yeah.
So if I were to ask you how many referees as a Thokoza at national level, currently none.
Ziyakhala. Yeah, yeah.
Football administrators, abantu abafana nathi, none. You look at coaches, none. So I think maybe it makes sense, man. Why maybe 25%.
Okay.
The 25% is based on stability, which is stable.
Yeah.
But now we need to show results.
And break through, no?
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the key programs okanye ama tournaments owaranayo phansi kwe-leadership yakho?
Okay, this is a touch in the tournament, but I'm not for tournaments.
Okay.
Yeah. For us, it's structured football. We do focus mainly on structured football.
Yes.
That's why now MK ungakazi uhlangane nami somewhere dig around. You'll never find me there. Yeah.
Okay.
Ngifuna ibhola le-structured, but we're going to talk about that at a later stage if it's going to be covered. So we've got the Easter tournament, which is our biggest event. It's hosted by us. It's been running for the past 23 years. It's a culture Thokoza. Everyone knows Good Friday or Easter.
Yeah.
Then we've got a Super League. We've got a Juniors League, a Junior, and then we now have, currently we have a women's football. There's a league. And then we've just finalized school football. So we're trying to cover all those fraternities.
Okay.
Is football, but the biggest one, it's for me, is Super League, because it's runner from for 9 months, and then followed by Easter tournament, runner for 4 days, but it's a big event. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So for me, I say football is not an event; it's a program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you then invite ama scouts to come and look at ama players, to come and look at abo referee, to come and look at abo nama coach mhlawumbe?
To answer that question, mhlawumbe umbukeli lapha ekhaya ngabona ngenye indlela, but yes, we do.
You do, okay.
Abantu who are part of the project, the teams that are there, they know we have aboma Edward Mutala, aboma chance, they come in as an abantu, although mhlambe the production side thing akabe right, but then it's happening with ama scouts, they come.
Okay.
Ukuthi asikaka produce enough
So
Yeah.
far. Okay,
Yes.
okay. So how do you how do you ensure that abantu abatsha from different backgrounds are benefiting equally from opportunities with football?
To answer that question, we try. We know there's what we call, even you go to corporate, but it's diversity and inclusion.
Okay.
So abantu abaphuma kuma background angekho kahle, we cannot say thina abantu abamnyama basekasi phela. Also women have been excluded for the longest time.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is the diversity and inclusion. We've got the women's football, to cover for that sector. Abantu besifazane ukuthi basondele nabo epolweni.
Okay.
We've got a juniors league way to from under 11, 13, 15 and 17 getting equal opportunities, but compete now as any other kid like Thokoza.
Yes.
When I spoke about the women, currently our women's football idlala eSemtuli Stadium in the main field.
Okay.
So we're giving them equal opportunity. I told her I'm a senior. Now they get to play a stadium as full. If we have a tournament, they get to play their tournament, their final, where the senior will play. Experience the crowd and experience the environment. So for us, it's important to see include wonke umuntu. And sometimes kunama player, amathima la ikasa selokishini, they focus kule intwana ezimnandi kakhulu. Basho kanjalo lawo yakhona lezi ezimnandi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go back to Kolwin. There are some players esikolweni. That's why we've just finalized the league equal.
Okay.
From school, even if awudlali ekasi, but we thole le opportunity ukudlala esikolweni.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what role does TLFA play in mentoring our coaches, nama referee, kunye nama young administrators?
That's a good question. I think I touched earlier.
Yeah, you did.
But ngizange ngifuna ukuyinweba kakhulu so that mhlambe if you have leadership for us, I think what we're doing quite right.
Okay.
This season, 2025 for us, if you go anywhere, even our social media page, it's siyafunda season. So, administrators, I can tell you, we've got people who are bapete. Remember, whatever job that we have done, we see within 15 months. We have voted in last year, March, 2021. So it's around 15 months, March. To this year, March, it's 12 months, and then from March to June, it's 15.
It's 15.
We've already have administrators that went to learn COSAFA.
Okay.
They are qualified COSAFA administrators. When we talk about administrators, so we push learning kakhulu. Sithe siyafunda, #siyafunda Thokoza FA. We had a reference course in March, where we brought in abantu from national instructors bazofundisa about referee like Thokoza.
Okay.
Yeah, your listeners can attest to that. We sifundisile about referee. We've got qualified referees. Me, myself, and I was there in that class. Noma ngasuref.
Ungasuref.
Yeah,
And you got the qualification.
I
as
wrote
well.
the exam.
Yeah, okay.
And I passed. And I told you qualification because I believe that you must live by example.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we trained our referees. We're still training them. In my committee as well, there's 2 members abahleli now at the provincial level,
Yes.
provincial commissioners. Esibathathile sabafundisa with the likes of Victor Hlongwane at the national level, bahamba yofunda, they've got the level 4 certificates, the referees coordination or commissioners.
Okay.
Then when it comes to coaching, we have our first of its own kind at Thokoza. Abantu baseThokoza bazokutshela iqiniso. Kuyaqala ukuthi sibe ne D license ezohostwa eThokoza. It's starting next week Saturday.
Okay. What is the D license?
D license it's a coaching course. So it works like this. It's more of an introduction, but then it's a certificate that you need to have coach abantwana. I think the ebulali development yethu kakhulu. Aba coach bethu, they're not qualified to do what they are doing. Ila election. Uhlangana neintwana zithi hayi coach sicela uyosibhejela and then siqala team kanjani.
Sekano coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So what we're doing
Yeah.
now, start aba coach bethu baseThokoza bonke. Spicy classing. Get a D license, get qualified to coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that mawukhulisa abantwana, remember the end product is to produce. But then ngeke produce if abantu abasidevelopayo abekho qualified.
Abekho qualified.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I have answered with what are we doing for referees, what are we doing for administrators,
And
what
also
are we doing for coaches.
For our coach.
So siyafunda. We have one good siyafunda.
Yeah.
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 I said and we spoke with the team good by the end of our term. Wonke umuntu osebholweni kumele abasithole certificates salinda yenzayo.
More especially people that are in partner with the TLFA.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then ngathi in partner, TLFA it's for the community.
Yeah.
TLFA, for those who don't know, it stands for Thokoza Local Football Association. So
Yes.
now say Thokoza, uthanda ibhola sondela.
Okay.
They are learning parts in between.
Okay. So what are some of the biggest challenges is i-association yakho uyafesayo financially, socially, okanye ngokwe-structure nje sayo?
Angeke ngithi si-right financially.
Okay.
But at least we've got that financial backing from the sponsors to Parkway Group.
Okay.
Ubabthabiso Tenyane. We've got that financial backing. But you can never say you have enough money.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think our biggest challenge, it's resources, infrastructure.
Okay.
You see, we've got a biggest challenge there. If I were to say to you, MK, anginama ground are enough, Ojan, Thokoza, I'm sure you'll attest the same to Lipen.
True.
Yeah.
Eden Park, it's not under Thokoza.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Yeah. So we've got one ground, Lochan, and we want to fit in E-Colo, we want to fit in Super League, we want to fit in Ama Junior, we want to fit in ladies soccer into that one field.
Isn't the space big enough for Ama grounds, 3 or 4?
We've done 2 grounds at the back.
Okay.
For Ama Junior. Still not in good condition, but bayadlala league iyadlala lapha. But you go to other places, I'm not going to touch amagama abantu bazoze babone ngathi nginomona.
Yeah.
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 You've got 3 or 4 grounds zotshani around the gas. So for us it's only one. Mele masilisebenzisa siphinde silinakekele futhi.
Yeah.
Ngase wadlalile amagame amaningi sibone ukuthi ay ngathi liyalimala.
Sekudlalwe too much.
Yeah, for the next 2 weeks, as Chachi League is extension 2. And then now we're killing the momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of our issues, it's resources. and it's something that's beyond our control. But we are doing something, believe you me. We are doing something. Asisho ukuthi sizowakha stadium, but we are doing something.
Doing something, yeah.
Sibe nama field more
Okay.
anotshani.
Anotshani.
We're trying to identify spaces, and they're very minimal. Uhlala la eThokoza, if I were to ask you, ngicela ungidentify le space la ngiza nomuntu onemali, ngenza example.
Yes.
Ufuna ukusenzela i-ground lotshani. Wanna do in a Nike Center. Can you find a space for me la eThokoza? It's very rare.
Yeah, asikho.
Asikho. Esilingana le-ground.
Yeah, asikho.
Ngakutshela ngizidentify. There's one lapha kwePolapa Clinic.
Yes.
At least
Baze baliyeka neground lamosheka
Yeah.
linamatshe.
ngale emva ngase hostel bathi mabhokobhoko ground.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then ngale emva Triple C ngaselandulwazi. Those are the spaces ongazithola la eThokoza. Ungayenza iground. Maba ngathi hamba uqala uzenzele iground la.
Yes, ground. Yeah.
Uqala emathuneni yophuma esibhedlela, uqala esibhedlela. You will never find that. So our biggest challenge is resources.
Okay. Okay.
We wanna go, but i-growth ilimitwa space esinaso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So politics is everywhere and zizifaka nala zingafuneki khona. So how do you deal with political or community related pressures kwi football development?
Leave politics to the politicians.
Yeah. Yeah.
And leave football to the footballers.
Okay.
So I think the approach is we are a bit arrogant, and it works.
Okay.
Angeke ungithole mina etaxini sengithi itaxi layishe kuphi ingalayishe kuphi. It's for the taxi association. Remember, that's the association.
Yes.
That's taxi association. You get to politics, there's association, there's different political parties. I won't name any.
Okay.
Angifuna abantu baze bacabanga ukuthi
Sekuya-attack-wa
or ngiwela kuyiphi political party. No, there's politics there. So for us, we stamp our ground. This is our association. You want to kick in football at Thokoza? Talk to the footballers, which is us. And then amongst us, as you said, there would be politics. There has been people before us. There's going to be people after us. But because of it goes back to what I said. I believe in structured football. Yeah. If into yenza ina structure,
Yeah.
also allow more politics. So immediately for us, when you come to your own, we come with your politics. See to what does the book say? Atina Masafa statutes.
Yeah.
So lento ozanayo ayikho kuma rules webhola. Then can we please pack it? So that's our mechanism to push people away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me something in writing. If it's not in writing, then it's your own idea or own opinion. Please pack it. But if it's good enough, so itata see makes it. But football has rules.
So what support would you like to see from local businesses, government, or national football bodies?
I touched on the resources.
Okay.
Yes, iPhone.
Yeah.
Believe you me.
Yeah.
With the little that we're getting, or with the amount that we're getting from our current sponsor,
Yes.
yes, charter is fixed somewhere.
Okay.
But then with the vision that we have, if everyone can come on board, or we can get 2 or 3 local businesses, I think we can do better than what we are doing now. The goal here is to reach quicker than let's cut this to start. If we are to take 5 years to reach our goal,
Yes.
maybe we can do it within 3 years. So, to local businesses, nabantu interest, we are a structured organization. We are very compliant in any way. You come the SARS way, we are compliant. You come the SAFA way, we are compliant. You come the CIPC way, we are compliant, yeah. So it's compliant everywhere. So I know our businesses are manning as of nalok. Do you have this document? We are compliant in any way. So we wish ukuthi sibe nama-business azokwazi ukupartner nathi.
Okay.
We are sending out documents, we're not sitting. But the biggest issue, it's resources. It goes back to resources.
Yeah.
I think yinto esihindarayo.
And while sase kuma resources kunye nama issues that you guys are facing, kune you find, I mean, in most cases, ever since nami ngiqalile ukufollowa isport, you'd find ukuthi there's football associations, and then at the same time there's usikhulu wa a certain football club.
Yeah.
Uyenza tournament, applyela i-sponsor where the association is also applied for a sponsor corner, and then you'd find in most cases they are the ones that are getting sponsors more than you guys abarana ama-football associations. How is that affecting you? And akhona ama-plans eniwayenzayo in trying to resolve leyo issue, because it is an issue?
Yes, it does happen a lot.
Yeah.
It does happen a lot everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
But
what is SAFA doing about leyo nto leyo? I think there must be some sort of process ekufanele uhambe ngayo for you to be able to host a tournament or a league from SAFA.
Let me answer you. Mangla Thokoza, I am SAFA.
Yeah.
You can use SAFA as Thokoza.
Sure.
SAFA. So sitting here, I protected the SAFA ngoba ngiSAFA. The rules are very clear. There's only one custodian here, football.
Okay.
Football is run by SAFA. So Thokoza, the only people ekumele barun iball is the Thokoza Local Football Association under SAFA.
Yes.
Remember, we report to SAFA Ekurhuleni. SAFA Ekurhuleni reports to SAFA Gauteng. SAFA Gauteng reports to SAFA National. So if you were to write to National, so they will say, okay, who are our SAFA people at Thokoza? And then it comes back to us. So to answer your question directly, the issue is apply my sponsor with other school or other organization. It happens, it's there. I think it depends on how do you structure then your program, how you apply.
Okay.
Yeah. It's more like interview.
Yeah.
You apply emsebenzini uzokhuluma lento ekhulumayo ngikhuluma lento engiyikhulumayo. Then if into zakho ziqondile,
Yeah.
kuzopopa wena, but we try to push. I will tell you, ama-tournament at Thokoza are very few. Sasekhona i-ground 1 or 2 esingakwazi mhlambe ukuthi silibambe completely. But you go to extension 2. Extension 2, you can't kick the ball. Uvuke ekuseni uthi ukhaba ibhola lapha. You need to go through us.
Yeah, okay.
You go to other grounds. The ground is sasihlula kancane. I-Dexter.
Dexter, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hayi lapha i-tournament isuka noma kunini lapha. Namanje abasihleli lathi ukuthi next kusasa ziyakhala.
Kusasa, okay.
But we're trying to push. I remember there was sort of a program that was done by Region. Can we ask all our tournament organizers, if MK wants to organize a tournament, come to us, seek support, seek resources now. So we try to bring those people to us.
Yeah.
Like Thokoza. I don't know about other places. We do have ISNEC host a heritage tournament every year. They are with us. We assist them because they're doing it via us. It's not us, but it's them.
Okay.
About the tournament. We have, I would say, Ikhanye FC. They do their women's tournament. They go through us. Sbanigi Stadium, because currently it's not booking a stadium. Because they came to us. We're not saying don't play your tournament.
Yeah.
But we're saying do it the right way. There's a structure.
Okay.
So for those tournaments, Abacon, if you're coming via us, we are more than welcome to help you. But if you funa ukuzenzela into yakho,
zenzela into yakho. So how do you define effective leadership kuma grassroots?
I think ngoba sonke siphuma kwi-grassroots football, sikhuliswa coach abangafani.
Yes.
So for me, as said earlier, if we develop the leaders, go grassroots,
Yeah.
then we are more to produce food. So the important for us, it's compliance.
Okay.
Yeah. Make sure you comply. As I was watching one of your previous podcasts with your previous guest, Umbuzo Guti. So when ungayenzanga into so, how do you then expect i-team yakho ukuthi uma uyinike i-task iyenze into so?
Yes. Yeah. Ish. Yeah.
So it touches back to leadership with grassroots football. Tina, we need to be compliant as a leader.
Okay.
And into masiyenza, we must be an example. Kulabantu esibakhulisayo.
Okay.
Whether it's juniors, whether it's ladies, we must be effective. So what we are trying to do right, not sase ku grassroots, ukuthi thina siholdane accountable. La.
Yes.
If thina singama leader wethu sizokwazi ukuba accountable kini nikwazi ukusibuza i-questions siniphendule, then it's much more easier nathi sinibuze ukuthi okay uwenzani for i-team yakho, why i-team yakho yenza so, and immediately uqala uwazi ukuthi khona lawo account akhona. But I remember masiqala uphuma la eminyango wahlangana nezintwana zathi isikhulu asenzeni i-team. You don't report to anyone, you don't account to anyone.
Yes.
But you fall under association, now you account to us. Not just accountable.
Okay.
So lento yenza so yazi ukuthi inama consequences. And whatever mentality that you're going to bring to those kids, izobafundisa nabo ukuthi whatever you do has consequences.
Yes.
Whether good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how we try to drive development or effective leadership with grassroots football and grassroots leadership.
Okay. Okay. So what leadership lessons have you learned from ixesha lakho kwi-football administration?
But to funduzi off.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find the most effective time where I've learned. I think we're learning every day. We're learning every day. But many things engifundile kakhulu, it's accountability.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think during our time, we do call our members, this is our president report. Without them asking us, chairman yenzani imali or chairman kwenzakalani la.
Yes.
They know the specific time, how much, we call them in, we provide them a 60-page report from a 10 cent that we've used. And then from the kits that we've given out.
Okay.
We
So-
account kuzo zonke lezo zinto lezo.
Ama-reports wenu, do you niyawenzela maybe for abantu bonke or it's strictly for our members?
It's strictly for members in good standing.
In good
But
standing.
then all stakeholders involved, they
okay.
get the report. Remember, we've got a sponsor that needs to know what is yenzani ngemali. Not talking ngemali kuphela, we've got the SAFA that needs to know what are we doing in terms of football at Thokoza.
Okay.
And then other stakeholders, maybe schools, and then and there's also Thokoza Sports Forum. Remember, soccer falls under the Sports Forum.
Okay.
We need to report to them. What are we doing? So it goes back to accountability. Can you see Mango hold accountable when as a coach?
Yeah.
Now I account somewhere.
You account somewhere.
So
there.
as soon as kuba ne-accountability, angeke uthole since kujiwe kwenza istrata kodwa istrata sikakapheli because people they know they have to account.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yo. Okay. So what is your long-term vision for Thokoza Local Football Association?
I would answer the question. But
Yes, you can.
I have a question in my mind. What is long term? Because long term for me might be 6 months. When it's 6 months, it's short term. For the next person, long term might be 5 years.
Okay.
When long term go 3 years. So I would say this, which is it's something that I shouldn't be bringing in. We leadership here in football. It's SAFA votes at a particular stage, but I'm not going to talk about voting.
Okay.
So our term ends next year March, our term,
Okay.
where abantu bebhola eThokoza they will need to vote for new leadership.
What? Okay.
Yes.
So that's how isebenza kanjalo.
Yes. So saku question yakho yokuthi what's my long-term view?
Yeah.
So how do I look
Yeah.
at a long term? I can't look at 5 years later, whereas next year, this time I won't be sitting here.
Okay.
But what's important for me, I said Masqala ngathi we are 25% there. We are developing. My long-term view, noma sengihleli somewhere couching, I want to see, I said we've got about 16 or 12 players at my academy. To see Thokoza has 4 or 5 players relative for different teams. To see a referee from Thokoza up lower, Derby.
Yes.
To see football administrator in Thokoza at the end of a final and a medal. Can be anyone else.
Okay.
We're still very far with women's football. To see 1 or 2 players from women's football, Libago, PSL, then I would say these people, they came in during our time, they went through the system, and they are there, even if it takes them 10 years. Because whatever that we're planting now, never expect to success in a professional player.
Yes.
If that happens, we are lucky, the player is lucky and good, and the player is very talented. But whatever that we're doing now, see, build up for the next 5-10 years. Even if we Yitama Liga or second the leadership age.
Yeah.
But then the people who have been through the system, we are a question. We've got a couple of good players by Thokoza. I spoke about Philip. There's Abontsikelelo Nyawuza. There's Abopateb Zamokwena. You know what happened in Ngabonke Labantla.
Yes.
Even about Patrick. They went out of a system as it was because it was very bad for them to get to professional. They were not scouted from a team as it was.
Okay.
But so they left it was for them to be successful. So what we're trying to do, Guti, these players or these administrators or coaches must come out from us directly. I've seen my interviews among some of those players that I will never. We are mass gugu. We are mass kulula. But go to an interview, Bampos go to Puma, a time in Puma Lena.
Yeah.
I name it was.
Apparently, by prepare for my interviews, I've heard this other guy, Beka best friend Yakakune, Kukeza Ships. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
He was saying on your podcast, the Guti Bayaba prepare for ama interviews.
Yes.
Okay, this is how you answer questions and stuff. So you'd find Guti maybe for purposes the brand, Uzoti I'll shali gupi.
I'll wear this cap every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep on it as it was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. If you are to prepare me, I won't prepare anything, but no mas nga prepare anes vumelani. Mase kulma min uzovumela pulo ukuthi kat. Ngizosho ukuthi hayi mina yazi ngiphume Thokoza.
Sure.
So that's what we are fighting for. Ukuthi
Okay.
iThokoza ingabi le ndawo engcolile keep into ezimbi kuphela.
Yeah.
Now it's time for iThokoza to keep it right. Whatever people they're talking about, it happened in 93, it's 30 years later.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone as a cast, so we're now starting to produce.
Okay.
Yeah, so ye vision it, let's produce much.
Earlier you've mentioned ama ground enwasebenzisayo so far, and that was the extension to Nesemtuli. Why not early ground lilapho Polapart? Because isn't it part of Thokoza? Yeah, it's part of Thokoza, including Nelly lapho ngase clinic.
Yes, let me say I might have forgotten
we'll
to
mention.
mention.
Okay.
So it's one of the grounds elfana netexta esingakabi full control.
Full control, yeah.
But lelebel else clinic, I remember last year our juniors league beyidlala lapha.
Yeah.
So I touched on our resources.
Okay.
It's a good ground lapha ngase clinic. Mangithi ama resources.
Ebantwini
Yeah.
still, yeah.
Mangithi ama resources brawami. you want a grater. As a grater, Lina match, I know it. I went there and I'll check. It takes a year to create a figure Thokoza. It's not issue as a Thokoza pearl around Echo Lane. Apparently, there's a certain time where it created a mover amakas.
Basebenzisa i-grade A1.
I don't know engaki, but I would like to believe you one.
Yeah, I hope one day singamthola umuntu responsible
responsible for lezi
so
zinto
that
lezi.
we can know.
By the time afika umuntu wegrade, ufika mhlambe ngisespanini asikho, masibe nelaki sitholo MK asifonele ukuthi hey sibona igrade iyagrade
Iyagrade
akukho.
akukho.
Sengithumela umuntu la ecommittee okhona available ngaleso sikhathi ukuthi hey ndoda ngicela ungigijimele asiphushele eka and indlulile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if abamthumanga kulelo ground nina niyamcela.
Akayenzi sekumele yasilale phansi. Lesilale phansi. So
ayikole.
when I say resources, it's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, it's resources and something beyond our control, but because pusha lento siyipushayo.
Yeah.
Sisebenzisa lokho okuncane sinako ukuthi siye phambili. Lokunye kuzosithola ngendlela. It's better to fail uzamini than not kuyafana ngeke sidlale ngoba ama-ground awekho.
So inkokheli zethu ezilocally such as abo councillor, do they assist kuyo lama associations?
I would tell the truth. We've never been to that route. Angikhumbuli under my leadership in the past 15 months.
Okay.
Where we wrote a letter to i-council.
To i-council.
Yeah.
Okay. So if ever ungafikelela la sifuna ukublame abantu ngesupport singablame wena to say awuba approachanga.
I will take that blame
Yeah.
ukuthi approachanga, but as I said ukuthi instead ukuthi I've seen people before me or other sporting coaches.
Okay.
Ngahlala ngokukhala ukuthi hayi but isibhalile akwenzakalanga ini nani. Thina sisebenzisa lokho esinako.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
As long as singaka step inyawo lika councillor naye angaka step thina then asiqhubekeni la samba khona. Yeah.
Okay. Because vision A1 vele
Yeah.
ukudevelop ikasi.
Develop so thina sipusha la sipusha khona. Masingabe hayi ukuthi si check ukuthi what sort of help do we need from them at this moment now that we are building.
Okay.
There's nothing much. Yes, mabangeza bazosinika lokho abanawo will really appreciate, but as our job ukuthi ibhola lidlala ukuthi sidevelop so lokho
And
kuyenzeka.
sometimes involve abo councillor might also be inviting
Politics, yes.
into, which is bad. Hey.
Touch on my comment when I say leave politics to politicians.
Yeah, leave politics to politicians.
And leave football to football people.
Okay, so how does the association transparency? Yes. How does the association ensure transparency in decision making, especially during tournaments, kunye nama player selections?
I think we're one of the most transparent associations around town. Okay. You come to a Thokoza when it's Easter. Anyone can win the tournament. Ngiyayazi la ngojasebholweni thiwa kunale team ehamba netafula.
Ihamba netafula.
Hayi thina la eThokoza. Hayi la eThokoza.
Kumela ngiphume imali kasi.
This season kune inama ninja.
Yes,
Yeah.
thathwe ngama ninja.
They're not part of our league. They're not part of our program. They came in, they affiliated, but we need the tournament.
Yeah, well.
Our league, they played last week. We won EP Leipzig. That's Edinburgh. They joined our league, they won it. So, agna agenda si pushai.
Okay.
The agenda si pushai football development. The best team may win. Into si pushai. And then in terms of transparent, I did touch on kuti si pushai kultini reporting. Give people that 60-page book.
Yeah.
It's a 60-page. Yeah, it's audited.
Yes.
Go and read.
Okay.
The affiliation or the money that we got from the sponsor. So for us, I think that's one of our key elements, transparency.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very, very transparent.
Okay. So what mechanisms are in place to resolve disputes amongst team, coaches, or referee?
I touched on, we do hold a workshop twice before the season and mid-season to teach them SAFA rules
Okay.
and football rules. And as I said, sisabo coach classing, sisabo referee classing to minimize those issues, not to resolve.
Okay.
Decision no referee bekazoyithatha ngayanga classini iyahluka ne decision ezothathwa referee makabuye classini. And then we obviously do have a DC committee, which is very strict. It's very strict, our DC committee. Not good to strict over in. She believe if you do something for the first time, just do it right for the first time around.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why she call workshops in Fundis, and then you break the rules. You go to DC, utola lento itola, and then we are so funded.
Okay. How do you handle favoritism or corruption allegations within the football system?
It's a good question, but angakaiboni, but angibalekele because ngibonile somewhere.
Okay.
Angakaiboni la Thokoza. But to answer that question very shortly, we're very transparent. So it's very difficult to go to uzong accuse corruption, whereas you've got a 60-book pager which is audited.
Yes,
Yeah.
reporting everything that's happening.
Yeah, that's happening over here.
Okay.
So yeah, it goes back to transparency for us.
Okay. So how do you involve parents kunye nama community leaders in youth football development?
Okay, so touching into that, a systematic youth football development, there's a difference between a club and a team, but it's not part of the conversation.
You've mentioned it.
Yeah, it's not. So a club is the brand. A team, example in Mamelodi Sundowns, because he la World Cup is a
Yeah.
Mamelodi Sundowns is a club, which is a brand.
Okay.
Then you go to team under 13, under 15, under 17, even the super, the PSL team, it's a team. But the brand, a club.
It's an umbrella.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
to answer your question, where do our parents are fit in?
Mm-hmm.
In our system, we've got 48 teams. Yamachuna from under 11, 13, 15, and 17.
Yes.
Not a club, a team. So one club can have 4 teams lab. So we encourage our coaches to involve Abazali. When we do our player registration, those forms must be completed by our parents. For the parents to know, club. Although we're not fully involved as an organization, but our members in good standing, we encourage them to align and abazali. And if there's any query, our DC committee does involve our parents. It's not an easy way, grassroots. There's also cheating and where we involve Abazal. Yeah.
Ish. Okay. Have there been community outreach programs linked to football? E.g., isn't this for health, education, or anti-drug campaigns?
Yeah, there has been some. We do partner with many organizations. Remember, Tina, we strictly football.
Yes.
But then we do partner with many organizations like Eka Kasini Kawash. They do a fun run where collection their pets and what this and what not. But for us mainly, we do reach out to schools. They gunazi college. But they're very few at the moment where we assist them. When we do our trainings, we train their teachers as well. When we do coaching, their teachers are there. When we do our referees, we go to them, please give us people that we can train for free.
Yes.
So that's how we give back to the community. But in terms of partnering, we do have our own partners that do those programs on a daily basis.
Okay, I feel like you've sensed a question yamelandelayo because I was going to ask ukuthi how has football contributed into reducing crime okanye unemployment apha eThokoza? So with some of the highlights ozenazo ngoku you've actually answered the question le ngawo lama trainings lana.
Yeah.
Ikona post that was shared about training ebeni ofara coaching. I even spoke with coach Twitter from Mukdakasi.
Oh, yes.
Yes, he was interested in joining, but then ufike late, senivalile and stuff. Tell us more about the post there and if every sazovuleka still.
Why ngihleke? The project itself,
Yeah.
to tell you more so that ngizoba clear abantu bangasangikwateli.
Okay.
Because abantu bangikwatele bayangifonela not today I think ngitshela abantu abayithi ukuthi sivalile.
Yeah.
The course is happening next week. Landulwas.
Okay.
The main purpose of that course, it was not open for external people.
External how?
If you're not part of Thokoza LFA. When we started the course, we discussed with our sponsor, with this Fundis about Coach Bet.
Okay.
Remember, in Junior, we've got 48 teams.
That means the number coach by 48.
It differs. Omonyo coach under 11, 13, 15. So
okay,
I can
okay,
get around about 20 coaches there.
Okay.
Different coaches. Super League yet we've got 24 teams. There's one coach per team, or 2 coaches per team. Then we've got ladies football, we've got 8 teams. So we've got enough. So when we spoke to the sponsor, there was a question that they posed to us, which is, why when we get to playoffs, our team was a Thokoza anga win? The answer was, we don't, sinama coach, lawavuka ekuseni aphumela ngaphandle athola ama-player ayenza team. The coaching mhlambe esinika ama-player wethu, it's not the coaching that's required at the semi-pro level.
Okay.
So if we can train the coaches, probably the results will come. So masicala lento le, it was for us like Thokoza nama-coach wethu, and then it went out. News travel faster. Now we got coaches
Once
from somewhere.
yangena kwi
Social
TikTok,
media, yeah.
social media,
People
sesihambile.
wanting to come and join.
Sorry.
Thina besivulele for us.
Okay.
Now abantu sebafuna ukjoin, and then we said, okay, let's open for the other community members.
Okay. Okay.
So unfortunately, the class is very strict. There has to be 35 people maximum. It's a rule from Safa National.
Okay. But attender for how long?
It's 8 days straight. I'll be part of that class as well. I said lead by example. I'll be
Yeah.
part of that class.
Okay.
I'm gonna learn now.
Yeah.
And then we said, okay, we have 2 classes, one for external people, one for internal people. Labetu.
Okay.
The poster iphumele 1 May. And abantu mabangifonela manje ambuza ukuthi uyitholeni le information. Ngiyitholile esikhulu manje ish okay vele into zabo ziyahluka.
Okay.
But currently around town is the cheapest. It's 2,000 rand. If you host a region, I've seen some, it's 3.5. So into cheap obvious on kumuntu uzoza quick.
Uzoza kuyo, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
at the same time we cannot open it bigger because kunama cost nathi esiwe-incurayo ukuhosta that course for 8 days.
Okay.
So for a start, sivalile said, okay, let's see one, but you can only host once a year. So this will be next year. But if Basasekona are interested,
Yeah.
our neighboring LFAs, for Sloras, I know they're hosting in September.
Okay.
So people can go there if they're in a rush, or people can wait for us.
Yeah.
See, we have next year, this time.
Okay. Okay. I hopefully by
Yeah.
information. So how do you identify and develop a football talent in Lokshin?
It goes back to our coaches one. So remember, Tina, we just administrators. Sikate e-football.
Yes.
Ukuthi idlala ngendlela.
Okay.
Then I've got our coaches who deal with grassroots football, who develop a player asasemancane.
That is why kunale training.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's train them ukuthi bayos identify the talent. that we can put in our system, still produce at the later stage.
Okay. What opportunities are available for amantombazana kunye nabantu abangomama basebatsha in football under association yakho?
I think sikavile nale somewhere, but sizobuyela nje sithathe.
Yeah.
For the first time, it's one of the things that siyenzile. Kune league at Thokoza, women's football only.
Okay.
Believe you me, okay, currently, beqala this year, it's still ongoing, phela ngo-August. At least they have got around about 4 coaches, babantu besifazane, female coaches.
Yeah.
Kudlala ama-player wama-female. The referees there are female. It's their thing. The coordinators from our own committee, it's female. Not to say as a support or no.
Okay.
It's something, Esibamba is a treasure. Let's develop women football. And I touched on Guti in my committee as well. I've got female, one of them is a deputy chairperson. Also, she is a qualified administrator under COSAFA. So we do train them. Some will be referees, some will be coaches, some will be players, and some will be administrators. It's then a class in Manfunda, Mankalu grade 1. Not all are you going to be doctors. Even a team in Mankala under 11, not all you're going to make it to professional. Some of you there, Bazoba school at the later stage. Some of you there, Bazoba referee.
Yes.
Some of you, Zobama football administrators. So it goes back to Gulanto Bengishu. We do train them in different parts. We're not focusing on we must produce players.
Okay.
Let's produce players, coaches, referees, administrators, and everywhere.
That's okay. What have been some of your proudest moments since we are by chairman? Why are you talking deputy Ako before Pindul?
No. Do I have a specific day? I think that it's my proudest moment. To tell the people.
Yeah.
I think it's seventh every day. Seventh every day, every time. So whatever, as long as there's results, I'm very proud.
Okay.
As long as ngibona ngihlangana no MK training akhuluma ngeThokoza LFA, I become proud of what we have done.
Okay.
So there's no specific trophy. For us, there's no trophy that we, as we win, as Pagamise City, yes, we won this, then we're proud. Yeah.
Are there any upcoming events or tournaments or initiative ekumele siwabheke vele?
Yeah, I've got.
Okay.
I'm looking forward. Okay, there's quite a lot. In football, is runner from December to December, Bashuanjan.
Okay.
But December, I travel. Next week, hosting a D license at Thokoza for the first time.
Okay.
So Fundis our coach.
Coach.
They get qualified. After that, school league iyaqala eThokoza. Ehosted Thokoza LFA for my high school. I'm very excited ngalelo project. Nalele D license, I'm also excited. So for interesting excited, ukwenza into engakaze yayenza. So those 2 projects, and then after that, we've got our Women's League iyaphela ngo-August. We've got our Juniors League iyaphela ngo-September. And then our season starts again in October. So, but currently next week I've got the big event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 25 July, iyaqala i-league eyikolo, ama-high school like Thokoza.
Okay.
Yeah.
In one word, how would you describe your leadership, your leadership journey? One word.
Democratic.
Okay. That was it from us, bafethu. Ngicela ningalibali ukusubscribe, ningalibali ukukhomenta, ningalibali ukubuza ama questions guys, nimhlohle ngama questions. And if ever ama questions wenu are vast ngalendlela ukuthi sim invite kwakhona to i-podcast. That's exactly what we will do. Sikhulu, ndiyabulela kakhulu.
Thank you, MK.
Ukusibona namhlanje.
Thank you.
Okay.